very good evening, and thank you organizers for selecting us for such a beautiful topic, spirituality. And I have amazing panelists with me, ma'am, Dolly ma'am and sir. Like, I also want I'm a student of spirituality on a journey, so it will be more helpful for me than for anyone else. So I'm welcoming three of you. So I'll start with Dolly ma'am. So ma'am, spirituality these days is, what I hear. It's after COVID. I think it's become very common word. Earlier it was like not that much, and everybody is trying to practice it. Some are practicing it. Some are just saying it. I am spiritual. What is different between being spiritual and a spiritual?
All right. Good evening, everybody. So we've got a very heavy philosophical topic, but it is not very heavy, right? As a French Jesuit, Pierre Cardin said, we are not human beings with a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings living a human experience.
Wow. No, ma'am. Sometimes, even it's a fad also. You have to agree with me. Like everybody say, "Oh, I'm so spiritual. I'm so spiritual." But being on that journey is not that easy. That's what I'm realizing right now, because I'm going on that path, and it is actually not easy. You agree with me?
See, it's the realization. Now, talking about my journey, when we were sitting and we were discussing behind the scenes, I realized my spirituality at age 4. What does a child know about God or whatever? But then the pull was there. That was my calling. So there is no age. You probably are realizing it now. And talking about fads, these are fancy words. Like I said, we are all spiritual.
I am trying. Realizing is, I think it will come eventually. I am trying since last 10 years.
So because your destination has to be clear in spirituality. It's like सब कहते हैं हमें जाना है कहीं जाना है पर ये नहीं पता कहाँ जाना है चौराहे पे खड़े हैं we are standing at crossroads in spirituality there is only one destination, that's the divine. Why go here and there? So the divine is within us. We just have to do our inner journey, and for that a guru is required. Now coming on to a guru or a teacher, I'll quote Swami Vivekananda from the Vedanta School of Theology, Hindu theology. He said that जो गुरु है, आप इधर ढूंढेंगे उधर ढूंढेंगे आपको गुरु नहीं मिलेगा. जब अंदर झांकेंगे ना, the best teacher and the best guru, anyone, is your own soul.
Absolutely within you.
Your soul's calling. So now, what is the soul? Anybody? Anybody? We all know about our neighbors, we all know about our children, we all know about our husbands, wives, friends, the Prime Minister, etc., etc. Do we know?
The inner conscience?
Yeah, we're all fat. Who are we? Think about it, introspect.
And that's what we want to ask you. We don't know why we are getting confused.
Yes, that's what when you start aligning, because that'll go really big and we don't have time for that. You can meet me on personally after this, if anybody wants all those big answers for that.
So they're very heavy answers.
Yes. No, they're very light actually. The topic is a little philosophical.
Well, you've been and done, na? We are just on that.
It's
It's up for us.
See, I believe in 100% spiritual life and 100% material life.
And that's the toughest.
That's easy. The balance is easy.
No, but we are on the other side. It is very tough to be on this side. So we try this side and we try this side. We don't like people like we are spiritual and we are on this side. We don't like this. We don't like this people parties and all that. Then we miss that. So it is confusing. And
I party hard. I party very hard. And I know the best business in town.
We party hard and
but I can talk about at equal length about Vigan Bhairav Tantra. I can talk at equal length about that. That's my calling. So I have learned also, and I'm still learning. I'm a lifelong learner, and like spirituality is my calling. I said it today. Yeah, it is my calling. right? So if you want to, I can guide you. I've guided a lot of people in meditation. A simple form of meditation, not those fancy meditations and no mantra jap and all. There are n number of methods of meditation. I'll teach you the easiest one. You can do it just standing, sitting, anywhere. After this,
No, that's the best.
right? Anapanasati is the easiest. A heavy word, but then I practice a lot of religions, spiritual practices in different religions. And then finally, all destinations, all paths lead to one destination. And that we, like even पुराने ऋषि मुनि थे ना, इतने साल तप में लगाते थे. वो एक प्रभु के साथ मिलन के लिए, for that fraction of a second, they would spend so many years of meditation, in meditation. So that is your karma. You carry forward your karma. Karma भी तीन तरह के होते हैं, प्रारब्ध, संचित और आगामी. Your past, your present, and your future. What you throw into the cosmos is going to be thrown back at you. It's going to be thrown back at you, you know. So I can carry on, and time is limited. You've already given me.
Sir, you're smiling. So please,
over to you.
your insight of this.
I like what Matt just said. It's pretty good. You know. It's something which I think connects.
Bit closer.
Okay. Like most of us are connected to the super being. Okay. And then for me, spirituality is something intrinsic. It's something which I believe from within. It's something which I exhibit in my way of life. It's just not trying to go for meditations or something. It's beyond that. You can meditate, that is your personal calling. Wherever you meditate, whomsoever you meditate upon, and all that. But what do you exhibit in life? That's more important for me. How
So
do
what is-
I?
what
yes.
is the difference? Like, sometimes we say, okay, this one is religious, this one is spiritual. So what is that thin line which is dividing the both?
Now see, if you look at spirituality, is something which you are intrinsically exhibiting. Okay, you have it is within you, and it shows up in your way of life. But if you talk of religion, it's like different, though it overlaps. It's something like you see, in fact, Guru Nanak Dev Ji, he never came here to form a new religion. It was he was providing you with a way of life.
So
And
that
then
is the
gradually
same
what
thing.
happens?
That's
Yes.
the same thing as the teacher. Like there
He's
is
a teacher.
teacher. Then we formed it as
He's
a teacher.
he's just showing you the way.
It's just-
And if you liked it only, then you'll follow it. It has to come from within. If you gel with that, fine. If you don't, it's okay. But when you talk of religion, then gradually what happens? Look at his teachings, second guru, third guru, then 10th guru, and then you say, okay, Sikhism got formed. And then you go to Gurdwara, you go to wherever you like. And you say, that guy is considered to be very religious, but actually is he spiritual? Actually is he exhibiting what he is going there?
Half of the time, sir, people go to Gurdwara to give the list to Guru Maharaj. I have a whole
But when
list.
you come out,
And there was a time when I used to write it and put it in the Gullak also. It was very hilarious. So one day I went to Nagasab, I am very regular there. So they were counting the Gullak, this person knows me. He said, oh, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪਰਚੀ ਪਾਈ ਸੀ ਐਸੇ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਰਾਈਟਿੰਗ ਸੀਗੀ ਔਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਨਾਮ ਵੀ ਲਿਖੇ ਸੀ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਆਏ ਕਰ ਦੋ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਆਏ ਕਰ ਦੋ so must have written my enemies names or something ਕਿ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਕਰ ਦੋ ਨਾ so that was like long back so I was very embarrassed next time I said oh I will not do that which my dog should please take care of my dog and all that. So whole list.
Listen, that way I have a similar experience. Like I come from Assam, okay? See what happens. I used to go to the Gurdwara almost regularly. I will ask that party, I say, can you explain to me what you have just read? He said, I can't. I said, why are you reading this? If you can't explain, then why are you reading it? Why are you trying to make a whole mockery of this thing? But if you look at the old people who are well versed in it, if you go to the old villages even today, they will explain to a limit, to an extent, yes. But actually understanding what has been written there and then following it is another story.
Yeah, that's what it is, no, sir. I see these parties and
Spiritual
sometimes.
and religion.
Yes,
Different.
sometimes they're just doing gurmun, 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 and half of the time they're not even reciting the bani, or that's it. Now, what is your experience? You're smiling and you're so intense. Sometimes you're smiling, then you're so intense, like it's very heavy topic.
Not at all, not at all. See, I would like to start with a very basic thing, how you define spirituality. Normally people, like, we are all educated lot and we think we know a lot. We know better than normal people because after all, the reason we are sitting here, we have to be better than others, more knowledgeable than others. So one accident is religion, like when a soul chooses a womb and if mother happens to go to the church, so that becomes your religion. If mother is an atheist, you become an atheist. If mother is a Sikhni, you become a Sikhni. So those are accidents. Second thing is spirituality. Normal people think that being religious is being graduate, and when your eyes are not fully open and when they fall in the middle and then you have that look and then you become spiritual. Like this. I'm holier than thou. I know, yeah, postgraduate. Yeah. Then you say, okay, I know better than you.
Yeah, I have met so many.
Yeah. This is a step above. Like तुम normal वो कीड़े मकोड़े दुनिया के and I happen to know better. One is that category. Second, we feel people who have left this world और वो गुरुजी बहुत महान हैं, पता है वो पहाड़ों में बैठे हैं, उन्होंने 6 महीने से खाना नहीं खाया, उन्होंने कैंसर पेशेंट ठीक कर दिया बिना कीमो के. So we think that he is spiritual. See, when Saguna gave me this topic, I was thinking कि मैं क्या बोलूँगी, because
आपको तो फिर भी टॉपिक दे दिया, हम तो एक्सीडेंटली बैठे. So I was fairly. And they didn't even ask me if I want to do it or not. Though it is my topic of my interest. So I said, later on I said, okay, this is a good topic.
So a day before, I was at cremation ground, one of our friends had died. So I was just thinking that what is the difference between him and all of us? That thing, that energy.
Was lying there?
Lying there, the dead body. And all of us who were looking at him. A wonderful guy who passed, he was very close friend. So the only difference between him and us was that spirit missing, that energy missing. Now, we cannot say that I am spiritual, he is not. He is more spiritual, he is 3.5, he is 5.6, she is 8.9. You cannot do that. Basic thing is anybody who is alive and kicking, who has that spirit inside, which is beating your heart, running your system, you are spiritual. Normally we think, okay, you have reached a certain education, you have done so much part. मैंने कुरान 4 बार पढ़ लिया, गुरु ग्रंथ साहब 6 बार पढ़ लिया. I can translate Guru Granth Sahib. Now I have that authority to talk on spiritualism. And we assume that Osama bin Laden, Hitler, and all the bad guys, they are not spiritual. We feel that spiritual is good virtues category, and other people who could be murderer, rapist, serial killer, lizard, worm, कीड़े मकोड़े, they are not spiritual. You will never say this stray dog is so spiritual. Look at him, he's so like you can see that in his eyes. You will never say, but you can say that for Bapu Asaram or blah blah or blah blah or blah blah. I will not name any of them. But you will not say, look at that.
You were right on the topic, like, when you are wearing those attire, like I went to this Koregaon Park, Aushu Ashram, and then you see the robes, people are in a robe. So, psychologically you feel you are in that.
One, you have to be in that uniform. Two, you you have to be qualified to
We
be
have to be with
spiritual.
Tilk and we have to be with
Yeah,
Rudraksh.
yes.
And that is psychological. You feel you have attained everything now. You will just sit and you will be above the floor for a few inches.
Now,
and sit like this.
now, all of us, the only guy who disqualifies to be spiritual is this cameraman.
He's not
We
paying
can
attention.
say that we all are spiritual and we all feel that we are better than others. We know more than others. Our knowledge is more virtuous than a person sitting next to me. We all think that. And we never think that Hitler could be spiritual. Now, spirituality has nothing to do with God. Spirit is that something that is moving your body and it leaves your body. The rest is this is a social drama. This environment is
Phenomena.
teaching you. It's a phenomena. We all are living. I think God A is good. You think God B is good. Third one will think that okay, we have risen above gods. Now I'm praying nature. Now I'm praying to sun god or other things or मेरी conscious जाग गई है अंदर से. Now nobody can question or find out कि conscious कितनी जागी है 2.3 है कि
25 सेकंड
2.5 है.
जाके जागती है.
जागती एक बार जागती है. मेरी भी जागी. मेरी भी
25 सेकंड
जागी.
जाके एक बार तो लगता है सब छोड़ देंगे, सब कर लेंगे, सब अच्छा
And
करेंगे, पाठ
This
करेंगे.
guy who died, he's so good looking, so like intelligent person, and you feel that how come this thing happened to him?
What happens while the time we reach home and then everything is
No. Before reaching home, when I sat in my car and I opened my mobile, I had forgotten.
Spiritually.
हाँ, घर तो 15 किलोमीटर दूर था. मैं तो मोबाइल खोलते ही मैं भूल चुकी थी, उस बंदे को भी भूल गई थी और स्पिरिचुअलिटी को भी भूल गई थी.
तो अच्छा था बेचारा.
हाँ, वो सब कुछ दिमाग से निकल गया. बिकॉज कहीं पे था कि चंडीगढ़ क्लब में एग्जीबिशन लगी है, कहीं पे नॉवल बंच के 15 नोटिफिकेशन आए हुए थे मेरे को जो मैंने देखने थे. कोई एक विवेक अखड़ है, कौन है इनमें से, मैंने इसको पीटना है. हिंदी में पता नहीं क्या क्या लिख के सबको टॉर्चर पकाई दिया. मैं तो हंट पे निकली हुई हूँ.
I guide you to his house in Palanpur.
So, spirituality is till that time you are alive, you are breathing, you are kicking, you are spiritual because that spirit, that bhoot, that Casper is within you, and that spirit is out. When that spirit is out, whether you are a lizard or a coronavirus, or you are a worm, or you are a stray dog who has kujli, they all are spiritual.
I want to ask some question. One question from Dr. Chattopadhyaya because there's a doctor here. Because this question is in my mind since ages.
1 minute. What doctors got to do with
No,
spirituality?
ma'am, I want to know where the spirit goes. Where the spirit goes.
Of course. Come on.
What happens?
Ravee, don't do that.
Sir, what happens? Like you're a doctor, you see somebody's gone off. And that process of, someone is alive in 2 minutes, that spirit only goes out. For us, it is spirit goes
So
out.
that has been an enigma for me all my career.
So what do you
20
feel?
years.
What do you write? What happened? Where it's gone? Like, you're a doctor.
We don't have to write anything. Where it is gone, it is all
The
universal.
reason of
That is
death,
the universal
only
truth.
the reason of death.
Reason of death, actually, we have to declare it medically.
Hanji.
So we have to see what the person is suffering from and what eventually led to death. So it is more of declaring it medically, declaring it in medical terms, like the heart stopped or the kidney stopped or what stopped. But again, we do not know where the spirit went. But there I need to share one very interesting life experience with you. So this happened in my hospital around 20 years ago. It was a winter morning, maybe 8:30. I was there in the morning much before time, and I had a hospital at the time in Sector 34, and we had an office of LIC one floor above us. So this man came down running with chest pain. He was a Safai Sevak, and I vividly remember he did not have any money. And at that time, Fortis had just, I think Ritu must be knowing much better. Fortis wasn't there, or it had just like come up. But I could not even shift him because he was in such a bad shape. So we decided to infuse one injection, which we call streptokinase, to open up the artery. But this guy did not have money, so we pulled in money. It wasn't. We also didn't have too much at that time, so it wasn't the guy. This guy popped off, and you can just feel what my emotion was, because he did not have a family member. He did not have an attendant. I had administered the injection in good faith to save him, and this guy just goes off. And my emotion at that time was, now where am I? I am accountable, I am responsible, who's going to believe me? And to myself and to my... Yeah, so the next story, as we read and as we have, I think, even in many books, movies, seen, so my question, knee-jerk reaction, I started crying. And then I asked him what happened. So he just said, कि डॉक्टर साहब मैं आप मेरे से बात कर रहे थे, मुझे नींद आई और मैं बड़ी फास्ट कहता है एक बाइक पे चढ़ा हुआ था जिसकी लाइट ऐसे चल रही थी और मैं पूरी फास्ट बाइक चला रहा था, तो बाइक उठती जा रही थी, बस हवा में उठती जा रही थी. फिर क्या हुआ? फिर आपने मुझे उठा दिया. And I had actually given him a 440 volt jerk, which was the maximum we could ever go up to. The jerk was so bad that I had to recoil and I fell 2 feet away. And this was the third jerk. The first two he did not come back. But then there are so many things which are not in our control. There are so many answers which are unspoken, and we still are. So even medical professionals are.
After this, I know Dharmaraj has a bike. And I will be in love with him.
Yes.
And bikes
Are you afraid of that?
No, sir.
Then,
No, I want to ride the bike with him.
Oh.
And I take the rest one also here with me.
And bikes make is Yamaha 500cc. Yeah, because I've encountered that. I was pillion riding that. With a helmet on, of course.
350? Yamaha 350?
500cc.
Acha, bigger than that. Okay. That's why.
For dungeon.
Okay.
You have to travel a lot.
Okay. She booked my ticket. So next time, Aruna, I have to find somebody else in emergency.
I'd like to say something. You mentioned how many of us see spirituality and other things. Last year, I completed my diploma in postgraduate diploma in photography also from Punjab University, Uswal. So I had some exhibition coming up. And then I visited one of my friends, Aulakh, and he has this beautiful little dog by the name of Scooby. And I clicked a few lovely shots of Scooby, and I could see something very divine in Scooby. So my genre of photography is abstract, artistic photography. I weave pictures out of my own photographs. And believe it or not, but when I ended up working on my picture digitally, it ended up like Ganesha. And on Ganesh Chaturthi, I shot it forward in all my groups as Om Ganeshaya Namah. So I did see the spiritual side. And when I told my friend, I said, look, guess who this is? This is Ganapati. And I said, no, this is your Scooby. There we are.
And I said, I'm just seeing what you'll narrate to me now. I'm scared. So I see this white kind of a female in a robe, female or a male. So I'm imagining that. मैं तो नहीं सौंधी रात में.
मोमबत्ती नहीं खड़ी हुई है.
नहीं मैम, she's with a drink.
what Dr. Ravee said.
नहीं मैम सर ड्रिंक्स के बाद स्पिरिचुअल अलाइनमेंट सही रहती है
Automatically.
After spirits, you are spiritual.
Yes.
Like what Dr. Saab just mentioned, like his feeling and all that, right? His belief system, that's what I was telling you.
Yes, sir. Yes.
His belief that's so powerful is beyond religion. Is what you believe in. That's what I mentioned in the beginning, your intrinsic beliefs. How strong are they? You may, what you call, you may what you call profess anything, but that's different. And how you actually come across to that person is very strong. Like she was talking about photography. It's the picture when I do some nature photography. When you create that frame in your mind and you create it outside, maybe you get something very different.
Yes.
And it carries a lot of meaning because when you are looking at the photograph a person has taken, it shows you exactly his frame of mind.
Yeah, you know, now
And
I.
that also is what you feel within.
Yes, sir. I believe in that because when you are asking for something 100%, like I have seen this recently, I custom my old diary when I was leaving my office and I could read. I had written things which I wanted and I must be praying or I must be affirming for that. So I saw everything is done and right there and then, exactly like that, which I wanted. So end of this session, I will say कि whatever you ask, whatever you believe, 100%, you will get that. Maybe your desire changes after certain time, but you will get the same thing. So like you see this movie Om Shanti Om ना, जैसे तुम किसी चीज को चाहो, शिद्दत से चाहो तो सारी कायनात लग जाती है उसमें आप तक पहुंचाने के लिए. Thank you so much because I am getting so many waves like 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes. So
One last.
yes, ma'am. Ma'am, you have to see Shaguna also.
पिछले पिछले 8 महीने से रवि पिछले 8 महीने से ग्रैंड विटारा बड़ी शिद्दत से मैं चाह रही हूँ और वो मुझे नहीं मिल रही.
अब मिलेगी.
बड़ी जोर से चाह रही
अब
हूँ.
लिख लो ना.
लिखा हुआ लिख लिया, बुक करा के कैंसिल कर दी, दूसरी जगह बुक करा दी और नहीं मिल रही.
अब आपको मैं कलर पेन से बताऊं कौन से कलर से
One, I just wanted to ask, because there's photography also that's been spoken about. So all of you, this is for any of you and all of you. What is the connection between the aura, the photography, and spirituality?
Very interesting.
Aura.
Did you read that?
So what's the
Photography, aura,
connection
that's
between
spirituality.
the aura, the photography? Because a lot of people say, oh, we photograph and you can see the aura.
My eyes saw that.
And spirituality.
My eyes saw that in Scooby.
Yeah.
So I clicked a selfie of mine. I'll give you a second example, and I titled it Soul Energy. A lot of my friends have already seen that picture here, and so what I felt I am. I tried to project it. There we are.
So what would you have to say, ma'am?
No connection. One is your hobby. Second, as I described, spirituality is because you are alive, you have that spirit in you. Third is how you perceive things. वही शिवलिंग किसी और के लिए पत्थर है, वही स्कूबी किसी और के लिए कुत्ता है, किसी के लिए गणेश है, वही मंकी जिसको लोग यहाँ जाकर सौली जाते हुए ब्रेड खिलाते हैं, वो भगवान हनुमान का रूप है.
And कईयों के लिए is a menace.
Menace. कुछ भी, like this is how you see things. One thing which is round is rectangular for someone else.
Yeah, absolutely.
There is no connection.
Yeah, for me, like unless I have a special connect with that particular object, human being or whatever, I'll never take a shot.
So it's a projection of what
Yes,
you think
it
you
has
want.
to.
what
There
you
must be
feel.
some connect.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'll never take a shot.
I agree.
It's it's also like saying, unless I really want, I'll never have vanilla ice cream. So things, desires arise from within.
Really simplify things so beautifully. Thank you.
Spirituality is joining vanilla flavor.
So thank you so much. I hope you.
Whatever gets spoken here stays here. Nobody's